We've got traffic stopping fun today on the Express. It's our annual alternative transportation special. Thinking green rides and gorgeous girls. On today's show,
this is a mobile boardroom driven by profit.
I joined the Car Free Day celebration on Commercial Drive.
Christian is turning his love of vintage scooters into a business.
Bianca finds out why so many are going the way of the scooter.
So when we're introducing a new technology like hydrogen fuel cells, we have...
Melanie drives a vehicle that runs on water.
This whole feature is about working bikes and load-bearing
And
bikes.
later, Erin checks out the Museum of Vancouver's new exhibit, Velo City.
The timing of the exhibit was right on the cusp of Vancouver becoming a great cycling city.
See that and more today on The Express. You never know what you're going to find at Car Free Day, especially on Commercial Drive. We're in for one fun show. But one thing we are seeing more and more of on city streets, scooters. And we're exploring the many reasons to toot the little horn.
Part of Albert Yee's morning routine includes firing up his 1980 Vespa scooter.
This one's my daily rider, and I ride it to work almost every day that I get when the weather's nice or I don't feel like riding my bicycle.
Albert is part of a growing trend of people who are using scooters to commute to work.
It's easier to park. It's pretty easy on gas. It's fun to ride.
And as you can imagine, scooters are very cheap on gas.
It used to cost me about $2 a week. Now it costs me about $5, $6 a week.
I've been riding scooters since the mid-90s, always vintage bikes like this.
Scooter enthusiast and mechanic Christian Jarsdorfer says high gas prices have made scooters more popular for commuting and recreational riding.
The scooters themselves are getting more and more popular every year. You know, like I'm one of the few people, I guess, that roots for gas prices to go up. You know, because when gas prices go up, it does drive people to find alternate forms of transportation.
But many Canadians still don't consider scooters a serious alternative to cars.
If you travel everywhere in the world, scooter is an accepted main form of transportation. You know, a family will ride on one.
Christian is turning his love of vintage scooters into a business. Thanks to growing demand, he's opening up his own shop, the Scooter Hive.
If people come down to my shop on July 1st, we'll be there.
Across town at the Vespa store, salesman Peter Vella says scooters under 50cc are a big draw because you don't need a special license and they're great on gas.
And most people got more than a year out of $150 worth of fuel. So it's a pretty inexpensive way to get around.
I decided to take Peter up on his suggestion to go for a test drive.
Like a motorcycle, you have a throttle, and as you turn it, it'll get you going. And like a bicycle, you have two brakes just on the handlebars.
And after I got some help fastening my helmet, we got down to business.
Ready to hit the open road then?
Yeah, okay. I am.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I might need some more practice, but scooters really are easy to ride, and you should never underestimate what they can do.
We had one customer that took that 49cc that you rode, did a few modifications to it, and rode from here to Halifax, Nova Scotia on it.
I'm Bianca Salterbeck in Vancouver for The Express.
Little scooter lingo, people who ride will say keep the rubber side down, and it means have a great trip. Now, I haven't heard any other lingo here at Car Free Day on Commercial Drive, but definitely lots of slogans, like this one: we don't want your truckin' freeways. Part of the origin of this festival, and it's a topical topic.
We're concerned about the overfunding of highways and the underfunding of our public transit system.
Plus, perhaps this is the wave of the future, a car that runs on water.
The Hydrogen Road Tour brought 12 fuel cell cars to Vancouver from California.
Speaking of futuristic travel, some think that personal mobility devices might be our answer to fossil fuel dependence. No, I'm not talking about your iPhone, but the Segway.
Already popular with law enforcement, the Segway is quickly gaining ground in public opinion.
Full blurring, mall cop.
All over the world now is huge in places like Germany and France and Holland and Italy. I mean, everybody that I talk to that's just come back from European vacation said, oh, we just went out and did a tour on Segways, and that's where I get the calls from.
Larry is BC's only Segway dealer. On these quiet rural streets, riding them isn't much of a problem.
District of Langley has 105 kilometers of walking trails, and they have to go out and inspect them, make sure that they stay clean, that they're safe, and that type of thing. So they're constantly monitoring these types of things, and Segway's much easier than trying to walk it.
But in our bustling metropolitan centers, sharing the roads and sidewalks is a tougher sell.
Bike lanes, yeah. Sidewalk, probably not. If I can't skateboard or ride my bike on there, then they shouldn't be allowed either.
Hard call. I don't know. I couldn't imagine Robson Street doing that.
I think they should be legal if there's space. Only if there's space. Sometimes it might be a little too crowded and they may get in the way.
Larry is convinced there's room.
There's 2 motors, one for each wheel. So it'll actually turn within its own diameter, and they're only 23 inches wide, so that's about the width of your shoulders.
He's hoping the device he first fell in love with 20 years ago will be legalized.
I was in Disney World, and I had my kids down there, and they had it in Future World. They called it Ginger at the time. Dean Kamen, who was the inventor, a very prolific inventor in the U.S., brought the machine together came out of a wheelchair that they called an iBot that climbed the stairs.
He almost immediately recognized their potential for both work.
Are you ready to go? Let's go. Come on, let's go.
And play. He's also confident the urgency to transition to more sustainable forms of transportation works in his favor.
They're all electric. They run on lithium-ion batteries. They'll go 35 kilometers on a trip and probably cost you 5 cents to plug it in and charge it up again.
They're also virtually silent. The faint hum you do hear is completely artificial, so that you'll know it's on. Another selling point, simplicity.
Think about where you want to go and let your body drift in that direction, and it will go there. And wherever you want to go, lean your weight in that direction.
It's really a machine with a brain working to keep you level at all times. I've been doing this for about 5-10 minutes so far, and as you can see, I'm fairly comfortable. It's almost impossible to fall off because with every shift in body weight, the motor actually compensates to keep you straight and upright.
It just looks to maintain a level platform, and when you try and tip it over, it just moves to make sure it's under you.
Larry is confident that as the tides of public sentiment shift on sustainability, so too will our openness to explore new models of transportation. In Langley, I'm Peter Kim for The Express.
Segways aren't legal on our city streets yet, but things may change in the future. In the U.S., about 44 states have approved their use. And that's what today's show is all about, dreaming big and imagining a world car-free. Well, maybe a world with less car traffic. Coming up, the BC Klets spread the message through dance.
It's about just, getting on your bike because it's safe, it's fun, and you have a community to help you through it. So,
and the Museum of Vancouver spreads the message through art.
The Velo Love Wall. We ask people to send in photos of themselves on their bicycles.
Those art bikes are great. Dancing about bikes is great, but bicycles are just part of the solution. Hydrogen cell technology is on the rise on the road, and all you need to fuel up is a little H2O.
Hydrogen fuel cell technology was first put to the test in 1959. Since then, it's been used to power industrial equipment and consumer electronics. Vancouver recently hosted the Hydrogen and Fuel Cell Convention, and this year, it was the hydrogen car on everybody's mind. Greg Walsh with Greenlight Innovation explained the technology.
Well, hydrogen fuel cell is sort of like a battery It creates electricity, but it does so by consuming hydrogen gas. And one of the byproducts of it is the electricity, and the other byproducts are heat and water. So anything that uses a battery today could potentially use a fuel cell in place of it.
Mark Bautry works with educational toys to help people get a better understanding of fuel cell technology. All you need is water and a power source. This toy car allows people to see how hydrogen works on a smaller scale.
What it's doing is it takes the water, it's breaking the water down into oxygen and hydrogen. So what you have is oxygen being bubbled up on the side, and then the hydrogen is then being produced and going through the car system. Connect the car up, and what we have is slowly the hydrogen will fill up into the car. To actually play with it and understand how the technology works in that sense means a much better understanding of how this technology is adaptable and looking at the future as well for other technologies.
From little toy cars to real cars, the Hydrogen Road Tour brought 12 fuel cell cars to Vancouver from California. The hopes are the tour will open people's eyes to the hydrogen option.
Good, thanks a lot for doing this. We've made a lot of progress in the last 3 to 5 years to the point where now we actually have commercial orders. Well, I think the main obstacle is that the existing technology, which is mostly fossil fuel based, works and it's very, very cheap and they have a lot of volume. So when we're introducing a new technology like hydrogen fuel cells, we have lower volume and it's harder to make it price competitive.
Well, it drives like a regular car. Another obstacle the industry faces is people might equate hydrogen with danger.
What I like to say is if you went back 100 years and you told people that they'd be driving around in a car at 100 kilometers an hour with a can full of liquid, highly flammable gasoline in their trunk underneath their kids, they'd say you're crazy. But you know, we got over that. We managed to engineer our way around that, and we're doing the same with hydrogen.
It will be years until hydrogen cars are on the road, but industry folks say it's just a matter of time before people catch on. It might just be something in the air. In Vancouver, I'm Melanie Panetta for The Express.
BC is making great strides in hydrogen cell technology. In fact, they're going to be building a hydrogen highway running from Vancouver to Whistler for 2010, and researchers expect to see hydrogen cars on the road in 10 to 12 years. As for the streets of Vancouver, what started as a bold experiment back in 2005 has turned into a citywide celebration, an event where the hope is actually stronger than the hype.
3, 4-wheel traction, they're rolling around the neighborhood, satisfaction. Well, some have a motor, some
Up next, the Driven by Profit Mobile Boardroom, the BC Klets Dance Troupe, and fanciful fairies taking back the streets.
Tell me, how could you not enjoy it? Don't BC Klets, how could you not enjoy it? Folks, how could you not?
The Express is brought to you in part by Plum, fashion supplier to host Joanna Ward.
Since 1971, the Nature Trust of British Columbia has been dedicated to helping conserve habitat of ecological significance. It has been said that we don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. The Nature Trust of British Columbia, keeping BC beautiful.
Welcome back to our Express Alternative Transportation Special from Car Free Day on Commercial Drive. Now, there are a lot of reasons, compelling reasons, to go for a green ride and to get on your bike. Gas prices, the environment in distress, and also connecting to community. That's what this festival is all about, and also a new exhibit at the Museum of Vancouver, Velo City.
This is the Varna Diablo speed bike. Sam Whittingham is the guy who races it, and he has set multiple world records on this machine.
It may not look like it, but this is one of the fastest bikes in the world, built and ridden by one of the fastest cyclists in the world.
He's pedaled it up to 133 kilometers per hour. Inside there's a recumbent bike with a very big gear, and yeah, Sam's a bit of a daredevil.
Fast and slow, Vancouver is a city of cyclists. People ride for sport, for fun, for art, and for transport. And many of them, including Sam, are featured at the VeloCity exhibit at the Museum of Vancouver.
We're looking for individuals and groups of like-minded people who are using the bicycle to push the limits in some way, whether it's the limits of speed and endurance or the limits of creativity that the bicycle can help people with self-expression, whether it's through performance or creating bicycles that are just works of art, real jewels.
Or real workhorses.
This whole feature is about working bikes and load-bearing bikes. This bicycle belongs to Gwendol Castellan and Tanya Lowe, and they rode it from Patagonia to the Canadian Arctic.
The exhibit fits well into the Museum of Vancouver's new focus.
Well, the VeloCity exhibit is really reflective of the museum's new direction. The Museum of Vancouver will now be focusing on subjects related to Vancouver in its programs and its exhibitions, and also discuss topics that are top of mind for Vancouverites.
And cycling has been top of mind for many Vancouverites for a while, but now some might say it's becoming more widespread and mainstream, and many different types of people are embracing cycling. One
feature I really love is what we call the Velo Love Wall. We ask people to send in photos of themselves on their bicycles, and so far we've had, I guess close to 200 submissions from Vancouverites of all different ages and backgrounds and descriptions.
The timing of the exhibit was right on the cusp of Vancouver becoming a great cycling city.
It's connecting with the city in a really visceral way, experiencing the neighborhoods you're riding through, just being outdoors and using your body.
In Vancouver, I'm Erin Shaw for The Express.
They're hosting special VeloCity programs throughout the summer at the Museum of Vancouver, including guided city cycling tours, and bike rentals are available. Now, lots of bikes where we are today, and general fancy feet, all moving to the beat of the community-driven Car Free Day.
I'm a donation fairy. I'm collecting some change just to keep the festival going because we're all volunteer run and organized, so the costs just go to covering the cost of the festival, of closing down the street, porta potties, you know, that kind of thing.
Pretty fun, hey? Are you impressed to see the number of people that come out and the number of performers that volunteer?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's just like to see all these people together in a community and just really enjoying themselves in the sun, dressing up, having some bubbles fly, you know, and just really getting together like we should celebrate, you know? It's pretty exciting, and yeah, we just really need to take back the streets.
Business is looking good?
Yeah, business is looking good. It takes a long time to become an overnight success, Joanna. More coffee, more coffee. This is a mobile boardroom driven by profit.
It's like money is just flying into my hand just sitting here.
Well, that's what happens when you get stuff done. We're out here on a Sunday having meetings.
We're taking back the road. No bikes allowed today.
Conducting business, getting stuff done because there's only so many days in a week.
7.
There's only so much you can do during each one of those days.
So the overwhelming message here is?
Never take the weekend off.
Well, the We Don't Want Your Truck and Freeways idea actually came from a Unitarian minister who's been really involved in the Gateway campaign. We're concerned about the overfunding of highways and the underfunding of our public transit system, and we're concerned about climate change, as I'm sure everybody is these days.
It's great to think, too, when this festival started back in 2005, and it was the Commercial Drive Festival, that this was a big part of it.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, actually, it was a couple locals, Carmen Mills and Matt Hearn, started out talking in their living room a few blocks away from here, and I was lucky enough to be part of some of those early conversations. And now it's spread to all across Vancouver, and even City Council's talking about doing car-free days all summer long. So
spreading the love and spreading the word.
Absolutely.
I've never seen anyone so committed committed to like the human-powered wheel.
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, a commitment. We all do jobs during the day, but we come together as a group of friends and individuals to kind of like do something inspiring and try to inspire other people. So yeah, we do that through dance.
How could you not?
It's just about making the bike accessible and fun, especially to people that probably that aren't the jock type, but maybe a little bit softer. It's about just, yeah, getting on your bike because it's safe, it's fun, and you have a community to help you through it.
They love their bikes, the BC Colette, and so do we. And we often talk about the commute to work, thinking about your car. But what if commuting was your work? It is for professional mountain bikers who are gearing up for a 7-day cross-country journey. And instead of car exhaust, just sounds exhausting.
Tough day, hey Chris.
The warm-up riding out of the city to the trails is absolutely perfect.
In bike-friendly North Vancouver, a group of cyclists on their way to the trail is as common as cars on the road. But for Andreas Hessler and friends, this is no ordinary commute.
If you were about to ride your bike for 7 days, which is what you love to do, it's kind of like the holiday of the year.
Hessler's holiday looks a lot like his workday. He's an organizer for the BC Bike Race, a 7-day cross-country bike tour beginning on the fabled trails of North Vancouver and ending up in Whistler.
We're doing a final test run of the day. This is exactly as the trail will be come race day, we hope. A little bit of water splashing on the tires, splashing in the faces always leads to a little bit more fun and a little refreshment for the racers. We certainly don't want to punish anyone. They've got a long race ahead of them, 7 days of grueling single track, so we want to make sure that the race gets off to a good start and that we don't beat anyone down too much right out of the gate.
It's very challenging, very fun, and ultimately rideable by all of our participants.
Come on, Evan, let's go.
Whoa, okay. I was keen to get a taste of the action, so Andreas lent me a bike and invited me along to sample the goods.
Hey Chris, what's going on?
Oh, I flatted. So, like the race isn't gonna stop, so I gotta, hopefully get this repaired and get going again and defend the race.
Hey, weren't you the champion from last year?
Yeah, I was champion last year and I gotta go and make up some time now.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm just gonna leave you to that and we'll see you further on down the road.
While most of us aren't able to ride our bikes for a living, it was great to get a taste of what life is like in Andreas's office. You don't have to drive to work, do you?
I walk downstairs with a cup of coffee. A lot of people have mentioned seeing the sun come out. I've also seen all the bikers come out and everybody's riding to work. I think things like Bike to Work Week or Bike Month or really sort of get people focused that getting out of the car is important, and there's a wonderful, viable option for getting to work. And whether it's a cruiser bike, a road bike, a mountain bike, just get out and ride your bike.
Even if bashing through the bush isn't your cup of tea, a quick venue change and a different bike equals a whole different way to see the city.
The freedom that cycling brings is great. You're able to go at your own pace when you want to go. Every day I commute by bike, and not only to work and back, but outside of that as well. Every day is a car-free day for myself.
Well, I was having trouble keeping up with Andreas and the mountain bike boys, so I thought I'd try out something a little bit more my pace. In Vancouver, I'm Evan Mitsui for The Express. Woo.
For details on this year's and next year's BC Bike Race, go to the website. And for more people and pedal-powered events, we've got the Express Spotlight. Talk all things scooters at this Vespa meetup. You can meet other riders and share stories while enjoying the view. Take in a weekly ride with the Vancouver Bicycle Club. Rain or shine, there's always a trail to follow and great conversation to be had. Get all your errands done and get active at the same time. This walking initiative is put forward by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Always a guaranteed good time and good conversation. It's all about green rides today on the show, so we're passing the mic for an impromptu poll of favorite forms of alternative transportation.
What is your alternate means of transportation?
I ride my mountain bike and skateboard, mostly skateboard, but I use my bike quite a bit too.
And that gets you around to everywhere you need to go?
Yeah, I live on the North Shore, but the sea bus gets you across, and once you're down here, everything's pretty easy to get to.
What I'm doing right now, 2 feet, walking.
Bus or walking?
Most of the time I just walk or I take SkyTrain because it takes you like everywhere, almost everywhere, and it's pretty convenient.
I take public transit.
And you find that very accessible?
Oh yeah, I live in Kitsilano, just take the bus right downtown. Works out, yeah.
What does it look like I get around in?
That is the perfect answer. So you're biking?
I bike, walk, run, rollerblade, bus, and I have 3 cars. But I change my tires on this bicycle every year.
Really? That's how much you're biking?
I have more miles on this bike than I have on any one of my cars.
I'd say this is a pretty good ride as a form of alternative transportation. And the next Car Free Day Festival happens on Commercial Drive in Kitsilano, Main Street, and the West End in June of 2010. I'm Johanna Ward, and from all of us on The Express, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time, or we'll see you on your bike, your scooter, your blades, your Segway, or in this kind of car.